Bud, I kind of like, he convinces me that he's going to win the fight because he's such a believer in his own ability, and he's very convincing. And then you see the presser yesterday, and I thought Canelo looked really well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, he's a big lump.
Towards Crawford to win this fight.
Why is that? What changed?
Because I know Crawford's he's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's gonna go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for I think Crawford will get. I'm picking Crawford to win now.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect to Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford with nobody else. You got to show me that you can beat him.
The boxing world is sounding the alarm. It may be over for Canelo. In the lead-up to their fight, analysts and former champions are increasingly favoring Terence Crawford. Crawford, undefeated at 400, is moving up 2 weight classes from welterweight to super middleweight. A victory would make him the first male boxer in the 4-belt era to become an undisputed champion in 3 divisions. Many insiders argue that Crawford's technical brilliance and perfect record stand in sharp contrast to Alvarez's declining output and advancing age. Some are now boldly declaring that the Mexican icon could be approaching the twilight of his reign.
Everything is on Terence Crawford's side, all the legacy, meaning he only has the opportunity to win the belts. Saul only has an opportunity to defend them. Terence Crawford has an opportunity to be in a 5 division and the only person to win all 4 belts in 3 separate weight divisions. Why is Saul taking this fight? And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's some things in life more important than just the belts. And that 20-year career that Terence Crawford made, that all that he has, is very valuable. Very, very valuable. He had 1 foot out the game. And if he can be the man to defeat him, because remember, if Saul beats him, Terence Crawford was the first man to get all 4 belts in 2 separate weight divisions. Yes, I beat that champion. Yes, I beat the multiple division champion. And
Boxing's elite are rallying behind Terence "Bud" Crawford. Even legends like Floyd Mayweather Jr. hail him as the sport's current pound-for-pound king, praising his unmatched ring IQ and adaptability. Former champion Andre Ward has also lauded Crawford's blend of strategic brilliance and elite timing, further reinforcing the belief that Bud possesses the tools to dethrone Canelo.
But in terms of his resume, the opponents that he fought, right? And people say he fought this name and fought that name. Where did he fight that name when he fought him? He 32. He coming off 2 losses. He 35. Kovalev, when he fought Kovalev was cooked. He wasn't the crusher. He wasn't the undefeated guy. He had lost that. And I'm not knocking the hustle, but you lose me when you start saying I'm the best fighter in the world. Or you lose me when you feel like you don't have to fight the best, but then everybody else got to fight the best. Canelo is a really good fighter, man. But you don't really know how good you are until you fight the other best. Like even Dimitri Bivol, the dude you lost to. You got to give him credit for going up in weight, but I feel like he miscalculated though.
You got Bud Crawford and Canelo. They're slated to fight in September.
It's going to be an interesting fight. Honestly, it's kind of 50-50 in my opinion. Obviously, Canelo's got the weight and natural size advantage, but Bud's very technically skilled and sharp.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good.
Former unified middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik lays out a sharp game plan built on relentless pressure from the opening bell. He advises Crawford to take control of at least 3 of the first 4 rounds in order to disrupt Alvarez's rhythm and gradually chip away at his stamina. Pavlik notes that once Canelo is pushed out of his comfort zone, he often begins to show signs of fatigue around the 7th round. He also suggests that Crawford switch frequently between orthodox and southpaw stances to keep Alvarez guessing, and make the Mexican great feel as if he's constantly playing catch-up. In January 2024, Pavlik further emphasized these tactics, highlighting how discipline and pressure could tilt the fight in Crawford's favor.
In Canelo's ass a little early on, put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds, because when Canelo has to fight, okay, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bivol. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. You know, when Canelo could control the fight and the ring generalship, like, yeah, he could fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance-wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in his ass a little bit on, you know, the early rounds and make him have to play catch-up in rounds 3, 4, 5. And then by round 7, that's where, you know, he could really step it up.
Former two-weight world champion turned analyst Tim Bradley has thrown his support behind Crawford over Canelo, ranking Crawford's skills among the greatest in boxing history. He praised Bud's speed, power, timing, and adaptability, expressing confidence that Crawford could prevail even at super middleweight. Bradley also hinted at a mysterious, secret advantage he believes gives Crawford the edge, though he refused to elaborate. For Bradley, this isn't mere speculation. It's a firm conviction that Crawford's unique skill set and adaptability will overwhelm Canelo, signaling a potential turning point in boxing history.
One more thing. It don't matter if Canelo is on that. He ain't beat no Terence Crawford. You heard it here first. Plus, I look at the performances of Canelo. I look at his last performances. I mean, they've been all right, you know. It ain't been like, you know, wow, you know, blew me away. So I'm not really worried about all of that. And the same thing goes with Crawford. I know he's with Snack, and I know some news came out this week and all of that, but I personally believe that Snack is clean. I think it's a conflict of interest, the fact that, hey, he knows how to beat the system, quote unquote, Victor Conte, but at the same time, I think Snack, you got products going around the world, this and that. I mean, all these athletes are testing. They're not testing anything or positive by using Snack at all. So I think they're safe. There's no doubt about it. So with that being said, I'm not worried about that. As long as they testing, I'm good.
Canelo is so predictable, dude. You know a hook is coming. You know when the right hand is coming. You know he's going down to the body. He gives it away. There's a tail with him. There really is. And it's usually off the high guard. Where he comes in, he marches forward, then boom. Crawford's going to be able to see all of that. He's too knowledgeable inside the ring. His IQ is too high. If he can avoid the shots, avoid the big bum, and not get knocked out, he can outbox Canelo. It doesn't matter. He don't have to knock him out. He can outbox him, outpoint him. So that's my opinion, bro. That's what I think.
Former two-division champion and respected analyst Sean Porter echoed those sentiments, praising Crawford's adaptability and precision. Still, he admitted concern about Crawford absorbing Canelo's power over the course of 12 rounds. Porter acknowledged that while Crawford has faced heavy hitters before, Canelo's combination of punching power, relentless pressure, and a disguised, punishing left hook presents a unique challenge. He also highlighted Canelo's tendency to slow down in the later rounds, suggesting that Crawford's best path to victory is to withstand the early storm and capitalize as the fight progresses.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, you know. So I think, if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So talk about conditioning. It ain't no secret. We all can look and say, yo, right around 9 rounds is when Canelo starts to really decline in his punch output. Statistically, look at it. His punch output just significantly dives. This fight, what we didn't see from Canelo, because he didn't have to do it, we didn't see him fight in spurts. He's going to fight in spurts against Terence Crawford. Terence is going to challenge him both offensively, defensively, and also not only challenge that, but challenge that gas tank.
That's very much. See, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to question Crawford. You don't have to question him.
And what do we know about Bud? Bud got it at the end of the fight.
Stephen A. Smith has boldly predicted that Crawford will outpoint Canelo with superior movement and ring IQ. Speaking on Andre Ward's All the Smoke podcast, Smith forecasted a decision victory for Crawford over 12 rounds. While acknowledging Canelo's greatness and devastating knockout power, he argued that Crawford's speed, movement, and technical versatility, particularly his jab and ability to switch stances, would allow him to outbox the Mexican star. Smith emphasized that although Canelo is more accustomed to the weight and carries formidable power, the true path to victory lies in Crawford's agility, intelligence, and ability to control the fight round by round.
You know what, I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is, as seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, he can't keep him off of him. He says it's a legacy fight. And he believes he can do the same, and he wants to do the same against a fighter the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, which is why we haven't really seen him in the ring against anybody else. Unfortunately, that's the business of boxing. He's a victim of it, not a villain.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes,
Who gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, stronger fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
Always prepared.
He's always ready. He's always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But I don't think...
Even former two-division British champion Amir Khan, uniquely experienced in sharing the ring with both men, has emphatically backed Terence Crawford to triumph over Canelo Alvarez. Khan highlighted Crawford's elite boxing IQ, sharp footwork, elusiveness, and deceptive power, attributes that made him so difficult to touch during their 2019 bout. By contrast, he noted that while Canelo possesses legendary power, he found the Mexican icon easier to hit. For Khan, Crawford's timing and movement could make the matchup dangerously one-sided.
Crawford could beat him because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit for. I think that fight, if it does happen, as long as Crawford stays away and just boxes and be smart, he can win that fight. I think Crawford's a better fighter than Charlo. And he's a smart fighter as well. He switches and everything, so that would be a very good fight.
You fought them both. Like, what are the differences between them?
Canelo's strong and he's easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't hit clean. They both hit hard because, and you could see the strength when I was fighting against Crawford. He is very strong as well. So, look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much away? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go for fighting?
Oscar De La Hoya has also weighed in, praising Crawford's intelligence and agility, while even likening his movement to that of Bruce Lee. The Golden Boy firmly sides with Bud, joining a growing chorus of legends and analysts who view Crawford as the superior technical force heading into this showdown.
I want to get your thoughts. Canelo, Crawford, who wins and why?
Well, look, I mean, I've been in this game for such a long time, and I like to say I'm a historian. There's never been a good little man that beats a good big man. It hasn't happened. I mean, the exception is maybe Pacquiao beating me, but that situation and scenario was like totally different. I was at the end of my career and I was a shot fighter and Pacquiao was coming up and he beat me. But a good little man, which would be Crawford, just has never beat a good big man, which would be Canelo. In the history of the sport, it just now if Crawford can do it, Jesus Lord, I mean.
On the Joe Rogan Experience, legendary commentator Jim Lampley delivered a ringside-worthy breakdown of the looming Canelo versus Crawford showdown. He spotlighted Canelo's near-unbreakable chin, attributing it not merely to toughness, but to the equestrian training that forged his ironclad lower body strength. At the same time, Lampley heaped praise on Crawford, likening him to a modern-day Sugar Ray Robinson for his balance, power, and all-around mastery. He framed the bout as a monumental chess match pitting Canelo's physical resilience against Crawford's refined skill set, elevating it beyond a fight into a defining moment in boxing history.
Uses strength and conditioning. There's very few fighters that just train using skill. Train skills. Like George St. Pierre did that for a certain period of his career.
I wonder if there's anybody left in boxing who trains just using the gym skills. There were a lot of them when I was first involved in the sport who would never have touched a weight.
Right.
You know, they subscribed totally to the notion that that was negative.
Right. And the worst case, I mean, they definitely did calisthenics, but that was it. It was just body weight exercises, you know, which brings us to Crawford, which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Fascinating. Because how does Crawford compete with that size? And, you know, we have to recognize, okay, well, when Canelo fought Floyd, it was 152 pounds, right? So he had dropped down, which was a struggle for him, which is why Floyd was so brilliant in getting him to go down to 152, because he knew he would be drained.
Was it 52 or 50?
Undefeated light heavyweight David Benavidez offered a nuanced breakdown of the Canelo versus Crawford clash, acknowledging Crawford's elite boxing IQ and adaptability, while labeling him a great fighter with legitimate knockout potential. Still, Benavidez cautioned that moving up 2 weight classes is no small task. He noted that while Crawford has felt power at 154, facing Canelo's physicality at 168 could present an entirely different challenge in the looming super middleweight showdown.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses either. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Errol Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make one.
Revered trainer Derek James has issued a clear warning to Canelo. Speed will likely decide this fight. James stressed that Crawford, as the naturally smaller man, brings superior hand and foot speed qualities he must preserve to remain effective. In his view, while Canelo will have to rely heavily on timing, even the slightest lapse could leave him chasing Crawford all night. The bottom line, James argued, is that Canelo must play the bull, punching with precision, because when Crawford is moving at full pace, he'll always be a step ahead.
I think both guys have great attributes, right? That, you know, they do, and I think they have great attributes, and I think that, so you're looking to possibly see a great matchup, a great fight, and one could be an intellectual fight from Crawford, smart, intelligent fight. And I think, Canelo probably has to be the matador in this one.
He has to be the what?
Matador, yeah.
Matador, yeah.
Yeah.
Canelo knows how to lose, he says, pointing to Saul's 2 past defeats and claiming that when he hits a wall, he'll simply bow out. Something Crawford, undefeated and tactically sharp, would never do. Bomac credits Terrence's ring smarts and adaptability, insisting he'll exploit Canelo's limits with precision and persistence. He sees no weakness in stopping the cinnamon red menace, predicting Crawford will seize control mid-fight and finish strong. In Bomac's view, this isn't just a matchup. It's a blueprint in which Canelo's know-how for defeat meets Crawford's blueprint for domination.
Terence and the team, and we know where we need to be by the time we step in the ring. We got the doctors and the scientists and the nutritionists and everybody that's in camp that's going to do their part to get where we need to get.
How much more power does he have?
He got some thudding power up there, and we're just going to sustain it for 36 minutes.
Why do you believe you've got what it takes to come up 2 divisions?
Like I told the other guy, skills pays the bills. You got to have skills, man, to be going up there to fight somebody like that.
Former world champion turned analyst Chris Algieri offers a blunt but distinctive perspective. He argues that Terence Crawford isn't just another opponent for Canelo. He's an elite technician whose strategic mind and adaptability set him apart. Rather than chasing marquee names, Crawford has consistently pursued legacy-defining challenges, and Algieri views this fight as the ultimate expression of that mindset. Against Canelo, who brings both size and experience, Algieri believes Crawford's refined movement, timing, and fight IQ could neutralize the physical gap, transforming the bout into more than just a clash of champions, but a true chess match in the ring. Still, not everyone shares this view.
Bud is one of those guys. He just locks in. He just locks in, especially when you doubt him. So yeah, it's a really interesting matchup. I think of it more from psychological than anything, because on paper it's like, yeah, but he's a super middleweight. He went up 3. Now Terence is going up 3 weight classes. He had a little trouble with Majima. So on paper it's like, yeah, of course it's Canelo. But when you think about it from a psychological standpoint, it's like, I don't know, man. Bud's different.
Renowned trainer Abel Sanchez delivered a stark verdict on the impending showdown, dismissing Crawford's chances outright. He argued that Canelo would simply overpower the smaller man, calling the fight ridiculous. Sanchez emphasized that Crawford's size disadvantage at 168 pounds, 2 full divisions above his natural weight, would leave him vulnerable to Alvarez's trademark body and arm assault, predicting a stoppage somewhere between rounds 9 and 12. While acknowledging Crawford's early hand speed, Sanchez insisted that Canelo's strength and experience would ultimately turn the fight into a one-sided beating, ending in either a knockout or a lopsided decision. In Sanchez's eyes, this bout is less a contest than a rout in the making.
But that's why we have weight divisions. I think that Canelo has proven as he has risen in the weights. He's dealt with the best in his weight divisions that he's at now. He fought Bivol, and Bivol couldn't hurt him. He fought my guy, and my guy couldn't hurt him in 2 fights. The third fight I wouldn't even count as a fight. But to have a guy come up from 140 pounds in such a short period of time, I'm not saying he couldn't have done it. If he'd have taken 3 or 4 years like Canelo did and built up his, not only his strength, but his bulk in the correct way, he would have had a better chance. But to do it in these 14, 15 months that he's done it in, it's going to be difficult for him. I think that it's a tough fight at the first 3 or 4 rounds because of his speed, just like when we took Golovkin to fight Kell Brook.